The sun was setting over the dusty streets of the small town, painting the sky in streaks of orange and crimson. People hurried home, their faces weary, their footsteps echoing against the cracked pavement. Amid the chaos, a boy no taller than a sapling struggled along the side of the road, his torn shoes flapping with every step, his thin arms carrying a small, fragile figure wrapped in a faded blanket. "Are you sure she can make it?" a voice asked quietly, full of both hope and fear. The boy nodded without looking back. His eyes, dark and solemn, were fixed on the horizon where a sprawling mansion glimmered in the distance. Every step felt heavier than the last, not just because of the girl he was carrying, but because of the judgment, the rejection, and the life he had been forced to live. He was poor, forgotten, dismissed by most of the world, but he carried something priceless, faith and unwavering kindness. The girl in his arms had been silent for hours. Her tiny fingers clung to his shirt as if letting go would shatter her world. She had not spoken since the accident, not since a cruel twist of fate had taken away her ability to walk. Doctors had said she might never walk again. Her family, ashamed of their new reality and too proud to face it, had abandoned her to fate. The boy, a stranger who had seen her fall on the streets that morning, had taken her side without hesitation. As he approached the mansion gates, a sleek black car rolled to a stop. A tall man in a crisp suit stepped out, his watch glinting in the fading sunlight, his every movement exuding power and wealth. This was the millionaire, a man who had never known struggle, whose life had been built on privilege and calculated choices. His eyes widened when he saw the boy struggling with the girl in his arms. "Stop right there," he barked. "What do you think you're doing?" The boy straightened, exhaustion lining his young face, but his voice carried a quiet strength. "She can walk, your fiancé won't let her." The words hung in the air, heavy and impossible. The millionaire blinked, stunned. His fiancée, the daughter of another wealthy family, was known for her pride and cruelty. She had demanded perfection in everything and everyone around her. No one had ever dared challenge her, certainly not someone from the streets. "Explain yourself," the millionaire demanded, his curiosity now mingling with suspicion. The boy's grip on the girl tightened, and he set her down gently on the marble steps of the mansion. "She fell today. She can't walk, not because her legs are broken, but because no one ever believed she could. And now, your fiancé, she refuses to even try." The millionaire felt a strange twist in his chest. He had always thought of life as predictable, orderly, a set of rules and hierarchies that never bent. But here, in front of him, was raw courage, raw humanity, confronting the arrogance he had always taken for granted. His fiancée emerged from the grand doors, her heels clicking sharply against the marble. She looked down at the girl, her expression one of disgust. "She's disgusting. She's unworthy." The boy stood firm, his voice unwavering. "She is human. She is brave. And if you refuse to help her, you are no better than those who abandoned her before. She can walk, if she is given a chance." There was a moment of silence. The millionaire's fiancée, used to getting her way, flinched as if struck. No one had ever spoken to her like that before. But instead of backing down, she scoffed. "You don't understand anything. She's weak. She can't." The boy interrupted, stepping closer. "Weak is believing you're too important to care. Weak is turning away when someone needs help. She is stronger than any of us, because she keeps trying, even when the world tells her she can't." The millionaire felt something stir inside him. Something old and long forgotten, compassion, empathy, a memory of simpler times before wealth and ambition had hardened his heart. He looked down at the girl, who now raised her eyes to meet his, and he saw not helplessness, but quiet determination. "Bring her inside," he finally said, his voice low but firm. The fiancée looked at him incredulously, but he ignored her. For the first time, his actions were guided not by social expectation, but by conscience. Inside the mansion, the boy carefully helped the girl onto a plush sofa. The millionaire watched, fascinated, as the boy spoke gently to her, encouraging her to try moving her legs, to push against the fear that had shackled her. Slowly, trembling at first, she lifted her legs. Slowly, inch by inch, she began to move. Pain flickered across her face, frustration threatened to pull her back, but the boy's unwavering support never faltered. Hours passed. The millionaire sat silently, something he had never done before. He watched someone else's struggle and felt compelled not to interfere, not to control, but to witness. And then, against all odds, the girl stood, holding the boy's hand, and took her first step. It was unsteady, halting, but real. Tears filled the millionaire's eyes as the fiancée shrank back, her own arrogance exposed in stark contrast to this small, miraculous triumph. The girl's smile, radiant and unstoppable, illuminated the room in a way no chandelier ever could. "You see," the boy whispered. "She just needed someone to believe she could." The millionaire leaned forward, almost afraid to touch the fragile victory before him. I never thought," he began, but words failed him. In that moment, he understood something profound. Wealth, power, and status meant nothing without heart, without courage, without the willingness to lift someone else when they are down. The girl took another step, then another, each movement stronger than the last. The boy clapped softly, his eyes shining with pride. "You can do this. You are stronger than anyone who ever doubted you." It was then that the millionaire realized the truth about himself. He had spent his life building walls. Walls of money, of control, of image. He had measured his worth by what he owned, by what others feared or admired. But now, he understood, true strength lay in kindness, in courage, in the ability to inspire someone to rise above their pain. Days turned into weeks. The millionaire, once a figure of distance and intimidation, began to change. He hired therapists and trainers for the girl, not because it enhanced his status, but because he genuinely wanted to see her thrive. He reached out to charities, to schools, to communities he had ignored, driven now by a newfound desire to uplift rather than dominate. The fiancée, confronted with a love she could not control and a heart she could not sway, left him eventually, her pride too fragile to allow growth and compassion to coexist with her. The boy remained by the girl's side, a steadfast guardian, but he too transformed. He found opportunities he had never imagined. Scholarships, mentorships, and friendships that crossed the boundaries of wealth and status. He learned that kindness and courage, once noticed, can open doors no amount of money ever could. Months later, the girl ran across the mansion garden, laughter spilling from her lips like music. Her steps were not perfect, but they were real. Each stride a testament to resilience, to love, to the power of unwavering support. The millionaire watched, standing beside the boy, and for the first time in his life, he felt pride not in possessions or power, but in human triumph. "I never imagined this," he said softly. The boy smiled, simple and genuine. "You don't imagine it. You make it happen." And in that garden, under the soft glow of twilight, they understood a universal truth: sometimes, the richest treasures are not coins or property, but hearts willing to believe, to lift, and to love. Years passed, and the story of the poor boy who defied social expectation and the girl who refused to give up became a legend in that town. Children who had given up on their dreams were inspired to try again. Adults hardened by disappointment found themselves opening their hearts once more. The millionaire continued his philanthropy, not for recognition, but because he had seen firsthand how a single act of courage and kindness can transform a life. And the girl? She never forgot the boy who carried her when the world would not, who believed in her when no one else would. She grew stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, always carrying forward the lessons of faith, perseverance, and humanity she had learned from him. In the quiet of the night, when the mansion was calm and the lights dimmed, the millionaire would often think back to that day, to the boy's words that had stunned him, "She can walk, your fiancé won't let her." Simple words, yet powerful enough to unravel arrogance, to inspire change, and to remind a man who had everything that kindness was the truest measure of wealth. The story leaves us with a message as enduring as it is profound: never underestimate the power of belief, compassion, and courage. One act of kindness can defy expectation, break barriers, and ignite hope where there was none. And no matter how insurmountable the obstacles may seem, with support, faith, and determination, miracles are possible. So, as you walk through your own life, remember the boy, the girl, and the millionaire. Believe in someone who others have given up on. Stand up when it's easier to turn away. And carry the torch of kindness, because in doing so, you don't just change someone's life, you transform your own. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of human kindness, then like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that warm the soul and inspire the heart. Because sometimes, all it takes is one act of courage to change the world.